This was Emporio's brightest moment, the moment he truly stepped into the spotlight. Not only did he turn the tide of the battle all by himself, he even managed to outsmart the powerful Enrico Pucci. Anna Sui, Erms, and Jotaro Kujo had all been killed, leaving only a critically injured Jolyne, Kujo, and Emporio. Just as Pucci was about to kill Emporio, the badly wounded Jolyne slashed one of Pucci's eyes, then escaped underwater with Emporio. But Pucci knew very well that with his speed, he would soon surpass Jolyne's physical limits. At that moment, Pucci realized that Jolyne had used her strings to tie herself and Emporio to a dolphin. Even though Pucci would eventually catch up with his overwhelming speed, couldn't chase them deep underwater forever. And because Jolyne carried the Joestar bloodline, Pucci could still sense her location. She had to carry on the will of her fallen comrades and make sure Emporio survived. Emporio desperately called out to Jolyne, but she cut her own strings and chose to face Pucci head-on. Pucci's power was simply too overwhelming, and in an instant, Jolyne's body was completely torn apart. Time began accelerating without end. Day and night cycled at an insane speed, and everything in the universe, except living beings, was dragged into this endless acceleration. When Emporio finally regained consciousness, he realized he was back in the prison. At that moment, he heard Jolyne in the visitation room, arguing with her father. But the Jolyne and her father in front of him were clearly not the ones he knew. Then Pucci appeared through the doorway and told Emporio that through accelerating time, he had transcended space and time itself. Those who died in the old world were left behind in that past forever. In this new universe, all life on Earth would repeat the same fate. The infinite acceleration of Made in Heaven pushed this new universe forward at an unimaginable speed, eventually reaching a new 2011.
人類は到達し夜明けを迎えたのだ。これはメイドインヘブンによって約束された新しい世界だ。
In an attempt to resist fate, Emporio deliberately ran in the opposite direction of the ghost room, but in the end, couldn't escape destiny. He stepped on an upright mop, the handle snapped back into his face, and sent him flying straight into the ghost room. Just as Pucci was about to strike, the weather report disc suddenly appeared above Emporio's head. The truth was, Emporio turned Pucci's own hand against him, and forcefully inserted the weather report disc into his own head, claiming the stand for himself.
Jolyne お姉ちゃんが僕に持っててくれって授けてくれたんですけど
Seeing this, Pucci immediately activated time acceleration, pairing to finish Emporio in one blow. But just as Pucci was about to land the attack, the blood vessels in his arm suddenly burst, and he was flung several meters away. At the same time, blood began streaming from Emporio's eyes. It turned out, Emporio used weather report to raise the oxygen concentration to 100%, turning the air itself into a deadly poison, no matter how fast time accelerated. This effect couldn't be stopped. Pucci screamed in agony, and when he finally faced his destined death, he refused to accept it. In the end, Emporio carried the will of all his fallen friends, and delivered the final blow to Father Pucci. And just like that, it was all over. The bond between them had surpassed even life and death, and in the light of a new hope, their unbreakable promise lived on.